Ready?
Ready.
Hello, everyone. Today we are doing lesson 105, God's peace and joy are mine. It's our Friday, so we are trying to relax a little bit after a very, very hectic week. I'm imbibing in some medication to deal with some back pain that I'm having right now. So I'm just kind of relaxing, chilling. Had a glass of wine. Actually make that two, made into like sangrias. It's 10:40 at night, just kind of kicking it. Getting ready to do this video with you all. You ready, honey?
I'm ready.
Excellent. So if you see me hitting off this bong during this thing, please excuse me, but I need it. I've been in some pain of late. I moved away I shouldn't have moved, to say the least. All right, let us begin. By the way, we're only doing the lesson today. Today is the weekend. So, go ahead.
Workbook Lesson 105. God's peace and joy are mine. God's peace and joy are yours. Today we will accept them, knowing they belong to us, and we will try to understand these gifts increase as we receive them. They are not like to the gifts the world can give, in which the giver loses as he gives the gift. The taker is the richer by his loss. Such are not gifts, but bargains made with guilt. The truly given gift entails no loss. It is impossible that one can gain because another loses. This implies a limit and an Insufficiency.
It's true. It's very true. What they're wanting you to give is the knowledge and understanding you have been given about the things you have experienced in your life, on how it's been shown to be true. That is what they want you to give. Because as you give, you receive. You receive confirmation that what you have shared is the truth. In the amount of conviction you gain within your own heart and mind. And it's not like the gifts of the world, the material things of the world, the giving to get. It's trying to show you that there is a difference between them. That you are not going to lose anything by giving up the worldly goods and beliefs that you are holding forth as defining you. That you will gain by recognizing that those things have no value. And it's true. Please continue.
No gift is given thus. Such, quote, gifts are but a bid for a more valuable return, a loan with interest to be paid in full, a temporary lending meant to be a pledge of debt to be repaid with more than was received by him who took the gift. This strange distortion of what giving means pervades all levels of the world you see. It strips all meaning from the gifts you give and leaves you nothing in the ones you take.
Exactly. Think about it, folks. When you give a gift to someone, you have an expectation of appreciation. You have an expectation that they are going to like it, want it, and use it. And if they don't show that appreciation and they don't use it and you don't see them make use of it, you feel slighted by that. That is what it's talking about. It's those kinds of gifts that have strings attached. Those are the things that have no value. I've learned to refuse gifts that have strings attached, because I recognize that those strings are so they can be my master, for I will be the puppet then, with them pulling my strings, making me dance to their tune. And they always want 10, 20, 100 times more than what is owed. An example of that would be like our landlord. It's family. So they have an expectation that we are going to be grateful and thankful and everything else, and that we should be appreciative for everything that they have done and are doing for us, and allowing us to stay here without them fixing the leaky roof or the mold that's growing or any of the other things. And we do have appreciation, but there does come a point in time where that appreciation is being abused. And it's recognizing that we no longer want to be under that yoke. And so now we find that our lease is about up, so we need to find another place to live. And we no longer want to have that debt where we are now the puppet and they are our master any longer. What Holy Spirit is offering us is a true gift. And what He wants us to share is this gift He gives us. That is the gift that has true value here. Think about that. Please continue.
A major learning goal this course has set is to reverse your view of giving so you can receive. For giving has become a source of fear, so you would avoid the only means by which you can receive. Accept God's peace and joy, and you will learn a different way of looking at a gift. God's gifts will never lessen when they are given away, but will increase thereby. As heaven's peace and joy intensify when you accept them as God's gift to you, so does the joy of your Creator grow when you accept His joy and peace as yours. True giving is creation. It extends the limitless to the unlimited, eternity to timelessness, and love unto itself. It adds to all that is complete already, not in simple terms of adding more, for that implies it was less than before. It adds by letting what cannot contain itself to fulfill its aim of giving everything it has away, securing it forever for itself.
Absolutely. So, as it says there in that first sentence in paragraph 3, a major learning goal of this course is to reverse your view of what giving is and what receiving is. and to recognize what is of value and what is not of value. These are the goals set forth in this course, to truly show you what it is you've been taught to think and believe to be true about yourself, the world, and your brothers, and to help you reverse this training you've had to believe as you are. And as you extend the truths that you're being given, you are able to then gain an internal peace within you as the truth dawns within you of everything that you have been taught to think and believe to be true comes to light, and how you are now knowing what the truth is. You ask yourself, and this is something I was talking to Alex about earlier today, I look at everything I had been taught to think and believe, and I ask myself, how the fuck did I ever learn that? How did I get to that point where I was actually believing all of that? And it dawned on me. The physical pain was used as a form of control and manipulation. The physical pain and suffering, when that stopped working, then they went to the mental and emotional. When I really looked at that today, I was like, wow, that is what caused me to continue going and doing everything that I was being taught. To stop believing, to stop seeing the things that I was seeing. To block the abilities I was born with. And when I thought about that, it dawned on me, I'm not the only one. All of my brothers have been taught the same. And that the key to our freedom here lies in the experiences that we've had. Because it was those experiences where we made the choices to think and believe as we are. Those were the moments where we chose to forget who we truly are. And I recognize that every time I've gone back and looked at things I've experienced in my past, that those were the moments that I saw the truth, where I chose to believe in something that wasn't true. And now as I extend these truths to my brothers, I feel joy in my heart. I feel joy to extend this understanding, to give them an opportunity to see the truth, that it doesn't have to be painful anymore. Please continue.
Today, accept God's peace and joy as yours. Let Him complete Himself as He defines completion. You will understand that what completes Him must complete His Son as well. He cannot give through loss. No more can you. Receive His gift of joy and peace today, and He will thank you for your gift to Him. Today our practice periods will start a little differently. Begin today by thinking of those brothers who have been denied by you the peace and joy that are their right under the equal laws of God. Here you denied them to yourself, and here you must return to claim them as your own. Think of your, quote, enemies a little while, and tell each one as he occurs to you, my brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. Thus you prepare yourself to recognize God's gift to you and let your mind be free of all that would prevent success today. Now are you ready to accept the gift of peace and joy that God has given you? Now are you ready to experience the joy and peace you have denied yourself? Now you can say, quote, God's peace and joy are mine, close quote, for you have given what you would receive.
Absolutely. You know, the point and purpose of this particular lesson is for you to start thinking of your brothers as you would yourself. To start looking at your brothers and everything that you have judged them to be, how you have judged them to be your enemy. And as you do so, to look at them and say, my brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. It's to recognize that unless you can bless them, you cannot be blessed yourself. That what you deny them, you deny yourself. It matters not what you think and believe that they have done to you. Recognize that you are the one that judged whatever was happening in the moment to be what it was. You know, good example of this. Alex was sharing with me when he got home today from work about an incident that happened after he had pulled into the bank. Of how he had gone to the ATM, did the deposit for our business, and had turned and was going to go across the parking lot, which is what, 500 feet, maybe, to the restaurant?
I don't think 500 feet, maybe 100 feet or something like that. Wasn't that far.
Okay. So, you know, it's not that far, maybe 3-4 car lengths away. So he's, turned from the ATM and went to walk toward the restaurant across the way to pick up some dinner for us. And he got, 10 steps away when guy went and hollered at him to come back to the ATM. Apparently he had forgotten his card. And so he turned and he walked back. Now, being empathic, being psychic, he could feel this guy's irritation with him and recognize that the guy was upset with him because he didn't run back. That he simply walked back. Even though he said thank you to the guy was still irritated because he didn't run back. Then after that, he went to pull out of the parking lot. And he's at a 4-way stop. Car goes in front of him. There's no place for him to go at the moment because the way he's going is the same way that other car went. And so he's got his turn signal on, showing that that's the way he's going to go. And as soon as that car goes and starts moving through the crosswalk and whatnot so he can start moving through, the other car that was behind the other one decides to go ahead and go through too. Not recognizing that it's his turn. It's a 4-way stop. And honks and gets mad, and the lady's screaming and hollering while her windows are all rolled up at him for trying to go, like he was out of line. And in all of it, he was upset because he was being yelled at these people, and he was thinking he must be doing something wrong because all these people are reacting in an irritated way with him, like he has done bad. And they're angry at him and with him. And in this same way, it's trying to get you to understand that just like he was experiencing today, going, what the hell did I do? That's what your brother's doing while you are holding that angst and that anger and that grudge against them. They're going, what did I do? Because they're not understanding. In your mind, you have something going on. Some diatribe going on that someone has slighted you in some way. And it's all in your own mind. Just like Alex having that belief that he has done something wrong because somebody else is angry with him. He's holding a belief that he is responsible for how another thinks, feels, says, and does. That he can control the way they think, feel, say, and do by his own actions or inactions. And that simply is not true. He is only responsible for him and his own thoughts, feelings, actions, and reactions. The only person he can control is himself. And this is the misperception all of us have been taught, that we are responsible for somebody else's bullshit. Or somebody else is responsible for our bullshit. Simply isn't true, folks. We have to take responsibility for ourselves and for what we are choosing to think, believe, and do. We have to stop trying to take responsibility of everyone else's. To stop thinking we can control what anyone else is doing out there. We can't. If you want to make a change in this world, then it has to start with you. Everything hinges on what you're choosing to do in the moment. Be the example. Stop reacting. And start thinking about what it is that you're thinking and responding to. Please continue.
You must succeed today if you prepare your mind as we suggest. For you have let all bars to peace and joy be lifted up, and what is yours can come to you at last. So tell yourself, quote, God's peace and joy are mine, and close your eyes a while, and let His voice assure you that the words you speak are true. Spend your 5 minutes thus with Him each time you can today, but do not think that less is worthless when you cannot give Him more. At least remember hourly to say the words which call to Him to give you what He wills to give, and wills you to receive. Determine not to interfere today with what He wills, and if a brother seems to tempt you to deny God's gift to him, see it as but another chance to let yourself receive the gift of God as yours. Then bless your brother thankfully and say, My brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine.
Absolutely. It's not reacting and allowing them to be as they're choosing to be in that moment. Let them be the one that is choosing to experience that pain and suffering. It's eating at them within. Don't let it eat at you.
My brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine.
So
I was just saying that in my mind as I was picturing that driver yelling at me.
yeah, that lady yelling at you like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting all red in the face, seeing like she's about ready to have a heart attack because of it. Recognize, folks, that these lessons, these recent lessons are trying to get you to recognize that you are having a direct interaction with God. That you're not going through a third party anymore. You're having a direct interaction with God. That when you ask, He will be there for you. If you ask to speak to God and to God full on, God will answer you. There need not be a third party in between you and God. It's only as you are on the journey itself, when you're first starting out, that He asks you to use Holy Spirit so that you can release your fear of speaking to Him. Because all your life you've been taught to fear speaking directly to Him. You've been taught to speak to and through others to speak to Him. Whether that be your priest, your minister, your rabbi, whatever it happens to be. In it, you have been taught that you have to go through someone else in order to reach God. You don't. As Jesus did, He learned He could have a direct experience with our Father. And so can you. Recognize, folks, that those judgments you hold of your brother, that you are holding forth them as being thine enemy, that you have to extend the blessings to them. Recognize that it's you holding the judgments in your own mind. They haven't done anything wrong. Just like Alex today had done nothing wrong. It was someone else choosing to believe he was doing wrong in their own mind. All right, folks, that was lesson 105. God's peace and joy are mine. Thank you for joining us. Hugs, love, light, and blessings on your journey, my brothers. My name is Sabrina Reyenga.
And my name is Alex Reyenga.
Thank you for joining us. Please do the work, folks. Recognize that you are the one that makes all the choices here. Everything hinges on you. Be the light you are meant to be. Be the light we know you to be. Please choose to be the light. Speaking of which, I have been experiencing for the last 2 days these little amazing flashes of light that look like little pinpricks of light around me. Pixelations, if you want to call them, but they move around, fly around, and there's billions of them around us. They remind me of little fireflies with the way they move. And I get this understanding that that's kind of like what this entire manifestation of this reality is just this light coming together to manifest itself in this particular way in this moment before moving on to the next. Just as I am, just as you are. It's an interesting thing that I was experiencing, that I have been experiencing. Those little pinpricks of light, and it looks like they're flying all over the place like lightning bugs, but constantly lit up. Little fireflies all over the place. All right, folks. Have a blessed day. You are loved. We love you.